Hello, this is Superanimeturbo review, and today we're taking this review of Prison School Vol.2 from Yen Press. So you have this one in the front, the sides, and even in the back. Remember the first Prison School Volume 1 when this old man was decided to block the hole in the entrance, which is, if I can just find it, right there. Of this, and now we're gonna take a review of Volume 2. So after they discover they're trying to escape, but the old man who blocked the hole of the entrance with cement, they were figuring out a plan to escape. I didn't shit myself in panic. Yeah, that was eating his food. Now they would somehow have to figure out a plan to escape, and then Vice President came and she says, I returned to my shift. Wow, this is so nice. Then all this and suddenly all of it like that, and all these people thinking that it says, don't worry, we support you. God damn it, you are there. Then he was trying to figure out a plan to escape from this prison school of cementment. He was figuring out a way. In the morning on the Wednesday, they were like hanging out, talking things, and all of this, kind of trying to escape from a huge plan. All of it talking about like, and Kyosho's doing, you will become a woman. I was like, what? Well, this is one of the things I love about this part. All this and all this talking. Then there was this not delivery van, a laundry chute. A laundry truck that serves women's laundry. That's what they do. They just deliver them laundry. And all this thinking about the plan to escape, dressed up as a woman. And meanwhile, this guy was attacked by Maisho. Was whipping him and kicking him on the face, and I was like that. And this was like the funniest. Then grabbed him and said, I said get up, you piece of shit. And like that. And it's again, I beg you for forgiveness. And then when they heard of him, I says, hey, are you okay? And then he said that this isn't enough. And then he decided to go down there, give her a piece of her mind. Then he ran to attack her, but he flipped and shook. And then he pulled off the prints of the president. Council. Then people shocked like then she's like, what are you doing? You're human garbage. I'm sorry. I'm mostly sorry. Then the crows attacked him and she attacked him, and most of the funniest part, then he spit on his face. Then all this stuff is skipped, and they sentenced him to her domain of torture. Now you see, this is the rubber glove, and now the dildo, and then all of this. It's going to be torture from him. Meanwhile, they finally came back, and his hair was cut off by her. Yes, the woman with the boots that spit on him. Then opened it to his bag, and Seal saw this hair, and all of his hair was like this. You fool. This says you're doing this. Stop it. You are totally grossing me. Or to send me. Then he figured out a way to escape from prison to dress him up as a girl. Now this is the most funniest part. That you think that cross-dressing. Now they grab him the school clothing and all that, a school building. Then they look at the laundry chute, Then they figure out a way to get the costume ready to dress him up. So they hatched a plan to grab all those to grab a high school girl uniform to dress him up. So where he looks at it like, oh, that's that's her, that's the vice president's panties. Now this is the most of the funniest parts of all time about this. They figure out escape, and then the van moved. He grabbed one of the girl's clothing, and then it was very movable. I mean, they locked it, and then all of this started right here, like that. And the van moved, and then stopped. It was this plastic bag for laundry chutes and all. Then he grabbed the costume, and at the last, we are move tomorrow. Meanwhile, they were having this huge discussion about, something. And she says, I don't know what to hear the excuses. I am sorry. Then she's attacked by the crow, and she says that if she screws up once again, the crows will attack her. On it says, you do know what matters things to what happens to you, right? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Meanwhile, he's drawing something about this Chinese warriors. Then meanwhile, at the girl's dormitory, she remembers this racer, and it was from, I forgot his name, darn. And he remembers to give that girl a racer. Then she remembers her. Then right here it says, I am going to break out of this prison. That's what his plan is. Now 12 until the escape. Oh, this is nice. Meanwhile, he's trying to escape. All this, all that. Meanwhile, they're just doing some yard work, doing the school. And she makes some rice balls and all that. All this. Well, this is a pretty interesting book because I can skip through the rest because I'm doing this review. Then he dressed him up. Then he dressed himself up as a girl. Yes, as a high school girl. So he could escape, so he should hang out with her. All this is escaping. Then she discovered that, hey, what are you doing? And she is like new to the school. She didn't know that he dressed up as a girl. He dressed himself as a girl, my bad. Now, meanwhile, she was at the train station. And the train station starts to become, is right down there, of Chia-san. And soon, I'll be able to meet you, Ryoku. And then he went to the school of high school girls, and then they realized there's a new student. And he's like blending in. And all this. And it's all the getaway. And then the president grabbed him. He didn't realize that he is a girl. And she says is that, I am sorry, Chia-chan. I am sorry, Dragon. Hey, what are you doing? You're looking like that. And she carried out the stop, and then he decided to let her go, and she thought she was a new student. I did it. At last. I did it. At last, the escape plan was a success. One of the funniest. Meanwhile, she was looking for this guy, but she was in the bathroom. But he was in the bathroom, I think. And look at this. He had tormented with a stick right down there, which is one of my funniest parts. And then there was this, like that. But he looked at it, and hey, Chia-chan. Hey, Chia-chan. Hey there. And then she wants to hang out with him to check out and to go to the sumo wrestling circuit. Now you see they were looking for some sumo wrestlers, having some great time, talking to conversations about their lives and all that. And then he looks at the rice balls and all that. This is one of the most funniest parts. Meanwhile, she is still looking for, is Kyosho still there on the toilet? Yes, he is. But then he pulled out his iPad, and then it was. Then she walks down there, and then like that. He put this noisy device so he thinks that he's taking a huge crap. Meanwhile, they was looking at the sumo wrestlers, and then she took a picture of Kyosho. That's right, she took that and said she is so cute. And all of this, the peace signings, the triggins, and of course, that is good. And all this, and all this Kyosho stuff. And all this stuff right here, there, and there. Then she opens up this. This is a woman's uniform. Yes. Took a picture, and then she looks over to the uniforms and all that. They got some stuff into this huge bag. And he says, huh? He says, that's gross. Gross. Then he went back to the prison school. And all this time, he was tormenting him and went to his father's office. Got this. And this is this part. And he bust down the door with one foot. And then he looked. And he came back. I'm sorry. There was a lot of stinks. Yeah. I've been there before, man. I had to take a huge dump because I ate too much tacos. Then after he came back, he gave himself a toy. A Chinese action figure toy. Of all this. So if you guys really enjoyed this prison school book, you really do enjoy this. I'll show you one of my favorite parts at the other video. So this is Steve Johnson, and I'm signing out in peace. If you really enjoyed this book of Prison School Volume 2, and it was a long book, I had to take some rest of it.